All right, there we go. Welcome to Hidden Gems podcast. So I was going to say what episode, but I actually lost track. I don't know how. I don't even know what episode you are.
Well, it'll be famous, I'm sure. And then you'll know.
There you go. Oh, and I forgot to take my glasses off so there's no glare. So we have with us the wonderful couple of, I'm just going to say Charlie and Kathie, because some people don't want their last names out there. But if you guys are fine with that.
Yeah, we're fine with it.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. There you
Sorry,
go.
not sorry.
Not sorry. Nice. I like that. Which I met, I don't know, was it last year or the year before that I had actually met? I think I met you first. Was it here?
It was at the barn.
The barn.
2012.
That's right. In
Yes.
2012, you
And
guys had a
came
church.
and preached / sung, preached.
Yes,
At the barn.
that's it. So my
Yeah.
daughter introduced me then to
Yes.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, first of all, about how you two met. I love listening to couples, how they met.
Do you want to?
Oh, well, I was in Florida
Oh.
praying for a husband, putting it all down, like my mom said, write it all down. And I did, and then his parents had gone to our church, my dad's church, so I was helping out ministering there.
Okay.
And
Doing
doing the
what?
youth group kind
Okay.
of thing, you know.
Interesting.
And then helping my parents build this last church that they were building. And his parents were there, and so I got to know them. And then all of a sudden they bring this handsome young man.
And how old were you?
I think I was 28. Yeah, I was 28, and he was
24.
22. He's 6 years younger than me.
Wait, what? What? All right,
Well,
come on.
you didn't have to say that, you know.
No, that's
Okay, it doesn't bother
awesome.
me.
That's
I'm
awesome.
proud of you.
I love that. I love that. So I had another interview earlier with a couple that's the same way, and they were 10 years different.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
cool.
So I'm waiting for this person, you know, to come into my life, and I wrote everything down like my mom said, and never put an age there. That was what I thought. Okay, you know, of course I knew God could handle it. He was going to give me somebody my age, but oh well. He didn't give me anybody my age. He gave me somebody a little bit younger, which I'm so thankful for.
That's
and
amazing.
he ended up coming one night. We had a concert at the church, and he ended up coming, and I was there. I had been married before, so I had a 5-year-old son, Israel. And so Israel was running up and down the bleachers, and we met at a community center where the concert was.
Okay.
And so we went ahead and said hello. His mother introduced us, and later on she kept trying to throw us together. Invite him to the youth group, invite him to the youth group. So it's just kind of like,
Wait, your mom or his mom? What?
His mom.
My mom
his
was down in Florida.
My mom was the pastor along with my dad. They were both pastoring the
Okay,
church.
but it was his mom that was trying to get you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a pretty cool lady.
Now, okay, so we'll get back to it, but you were married previously.
Yeah.
Had you been married?
No.
Okay, so here's this woman
Yeah.
that's got this 5-year-old kid.
Yeah, divorced. Woman,
Divorced.
5-year-old kid.
So you
and
didn't even have
I
any.
didn't really think that was for me.
Yeah.
So it took quite a while, quite a few months before I realized she was for me.
Yeah.
And then
But you had your list, so you knew.
Yeah, he met everything on the list.
Everything on the list.
Oh, everything was on the list, but the age, you know, and I was kind of like, okay, God, I need somebody responsible.
I don't want to raise 2 boys.
but it turns out I was very mature for
Yes.
my age.
Okay.
And so that did
That's
it
awesome.
for her.
That did it for her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it took you a couple months. How long did it take you? Just a couple of hours after meeting him?
It took him more like almost
Oh.
a year. It took me a couple months. I knew he was the one.
Okay.
He wasn't quite sure, but you know, he kept hanging out with Israel. Loved him. My son Israel loved him, and they got along together. And you know, when you have a little 5-year-old little boy living with you, I had his pants hiked up to with his waist, and he goes, you know, guys don't wear the pants on their waist, and yank them down. And I had a little Dutch boy haircut for him, and he took him to the barber shop and got him cleaned up. And then I had the floaties on him. He's 6 years old. He's got floaties swimming in our pool, and they taught him how to swim. So he was just right. And it took a little bit. Yeah.
You knew.
Yeah.
And how long have you been married?
43.
Yeah, August 7th.
43 years.
That's amazing.
years.
Congratulations. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
What
Yeah,
a
in
beautiful story.
in 6 days it'll be 43 years.
Yeah, that's
43
true.
years and
That's
6
true.
days. Wow, that's amazing. So your mom trying to put you together, but you had some reservations.
Yeah, reservations. A
Yeah.
divorced
Yeah.
woman had
Yeah.
a child,
Yeah.
and I didn't think that that's who I was gonna be marrying. But
Were you raised in a Christian home?
Yeah,
I mean, why would
raised
you
in a-
think that then?
well, because I was raised in a religious home.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
We might be getting somewhere right now.
oh yes, very much so.
And what,
And-
like, what?
Well, it was unheard of.
Because.
But my mom was fine. That she was freed from
Yeah.
all that
Not religion.
religious stuff.
Mhm.
So, and I was too at that time. But it was new. It was kind of new. Too.
Yeah. So you were raised, you're not going to be married to someone. So you're 28 now. Or 24. You're 24 at the time.
bless
At
you.
the time.
God bless you.
Not now.
I'm 28.
You were 28 at the time.
She
No,
was.
I was 28.
I was
He was 22.
Okay, so you were
6 years
22.
apart.
Sorry, I got the
Yeah.
two. I keep thinking you're the older one and she's the younger
Oh,
one.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's
So-
good. That's, she's the young one.
So you're 22 and your mom is trying to
I wasn't
push
22.
at the time.
At the
Yeah,
time.
No, I was 22.
Yeah.
Well, I was young.
You
Yeah.
but you were mature for your age.
I was, that's right.
So at 22, and you wanted, I'm sure you wanted to be married.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah, I
weren't
wanted-
looking for someone
I wasn't
that was
looking really, but I was at that age where it's
Yeah.
past my prime, 22.
Yeah.
At that, in our community, they married young.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was
Yes.
about that age. So so we ended up falling in love,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked her to marry me.
42 years ago.
42 years
That's
ago.
amazing.
43 now.
Well, we
Yeah.
dated for like a year,
Okay.
and then I decided, okay, I don't think this is working. So I said, why don't you go off and think about it for a few months?
Wow.
I was talking to a sister, and she kind of did the same little letting go, with her husband, and they had gotten
Yeah.
together. So I thought, okay, Lord, if this is what you want me to do, I'm gonna just, if it's really for me, he'll come back at some point. So I just kind of, by faith, just said that to him, and we still kind of went out for ice cream with Israel, or we went for a run together or whatever, and then we saw each other at church, and then maybe 3 months, he just says, hey, do you want to go sailing? And I went, okay, because we lived this was all in Florida. We met in Florida.
Yeah.
And so we lived near the Indian River, right near the river. So
Okay.
I don't know, we rented a boat or something, and we fell over. I remember that. And I had really long dark hair, and and my hair was a mess, and I had a bathing suit on, and he walks me. So we got that all done, and then we came home. He walks me to the front door, and then he just says, I just have to ask you something. And I thought, okay, I wonder what that is. And he goes, will you marry me?
What? So something changed and you knew.
Yeah, I realized that she was the one for me. After a couple months of like
Hanging out.
cooling it a little bit. and
Okay.
So then we were married. What, 6 weeks?
6 weeks later.
6 weeks later. We got
Six-
married. Yeah.
6 weeks
Yeah.
later?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when he said, will you marry me? I said, Israel too? He goes, yes, Israel too.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then we got right away, and he goes, okay, well, I don't have a ring or anything, but you have a choice. Do you want a ring or do you want a house? Because he had saved money and had a lot and everything in Florida. And
What
so
did you
I
say?
said, I want the house.
That's beautiful.
I had a
Well
5-year-old.
played, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Well played.
Yeah.
That's
so I had a lot.
mature for a 22-year,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
at that point 23-year-old.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
building lot paid for, and then
Wow.
after we got married, 6 months later, I built a house
Yeah.
Wow,
for
that's
us. So we had a
beautiful.
house.
The 3-bedroom, beautiful house.
Yeah.
Wow, and that was
Florida.
in Florida.
That was in
Yeah.
Florida.
But you were raised in this area.
I was raised, yeah.
Because isn't the Sorry name pretty popular in this
Yeah, I was
area?
raised in
The Finnish community.
New Ipswich,
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
Okay.
So I was
The what
born
community?
Finnish.
Finnish.
He's
Finnish.
Finnish, and I'm Italian.
I've heard some stories about Finnish young people. Are they true? Like, they're pretty wild.
They can be.
I thought they were pretty amazing.
Okay, okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they can be.
They can be, okay.
But they can be
But
pretty,
you weren't.
pretty amazing.
You weren't.
True.
You weren't one of those. You were the more
No.
mature. You built
Yeah,
a
that's right.
house and you're
Yeah.
dating a woman that has a
Yeah.
5-year. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
good find.
Mhm.
Good find on that.
Yeah.
And you know
good
what
job.
was a confirming thing too was that his father was a preacher in the Apostolic Lutheran
My
Church.
grandfather.
Oh yeah, his
My
grandfather.
Okay.
And so his mother had run it by that I was divorced and all this, and I had the son, and he said, okay, that's great.
Your
blessed
dad did.
My
Grandfather.
His
My
grandfather.
grandfather was
It
a
was-
preacher in the Apostolic Lutheran Church, which was frowned upon divorce, but he blessed our marriage.
I don't know anything about the Lutheran
Yeah.
belief. Is it
Yeah.
similar
It's-
to like?
Well,
Was the Apostolic Lutheran a little bit
it's
different
legal.
than the
It
Lutheran?
was a little bit. I want to be careful. It was a little bit legalistic. But they were
most
amazing.
churches, whether
Yeah.
Yeah,
even the
there's a-
non-denominational
Yeah, that's
true.
ones are.
That's
I
true.
can't
Yeah.
even talk. It's gotten to the point where a lot of them are legalistic.
Right, but my grandfather, as a leader in that church, understood that there was grace. Understood grace, so he said it was
That's
okay for me to
beautiful.
marry. Got permission from my
That's
grandfather,
beautiful.
who was a pastor at our,
Yeah.
a preacher at our
That
church.
probably
Right.
made you feel a little bit more calmer about.
Yeah,
I mean, we both had questions, about the,
Absolutely.
of course, and just being divorced and,
Yeah.
having to live with that and thinking, is this right? Did I do, was it
Mm.
wrong to leave, or, all the circumstances. So
Yeah.
you ask yourself all those questions, but I've came to terms with, the Lord wanted me to move on and, continue to trust Him.
Beautiful.
Just, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so then you guys had been married a while, and then you started to help out with people that had addictions. Can you talk a little bit about that part of it, your relationship?
Well,
Yeah.
by that time we were back here.
yeah, we were back here.
We moved here in what?
We were married 6 years, and then we moved back to New Hampshire, where I was from.
1985 we moved here.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, we've
okay.
been here many years.
Yeah. Yep.
But we're back here, and our son struggled with substance, and so we knew quite a bit about it, the effects of it, and
Yeah,
why
we were
people
learning
do it, why people
on the
do
fly.
it, and so in our church we belonged to an evangelical church in New Hampshire, and people would come up to us and ask us, what can we do with this, their son, their daughter. And so they kept asking us, and the Lord was downloading information to us. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
And so we had a heart for people that were struggling with addiction.
Because you guys were living with that.
We were living with him,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
he was our prototype for learning
Right.
on the
How
fly.
long had you guys been married at
we
that
were
point?
we were probably
Let's see. We moved there in 87 and we got married in 82. So.
about 18 years we were married. Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah. He was, by this time, when we moved there, he was only a year and a half, and by this time he was 15.
Okay,
16
so-
he started struggling, so it was
Yeah.
quite a few years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been 20 years of dealing.
Working
So
with
he
people.
would have been your oldest between the two of you. Your
He
first.
was our
He was our youngest.
youngest.
Your youngest.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you had walked through that with him.
Yes.
Beginning at the age of 15 or
Yeah.
14, and
Yeah.
and learned quite a few things.
Yeah.
Quite a few things,
So
and we
you-
were helping other people too, other families that were struggling with the same issues, and so, and we read, you read a lot, I didn't read probably as much, but just learning about it.
We
So,
learned a lot, and
yeah.
then what we felt like the only recourse that we knew of as Christians was to take the word and apply it to the situations.
Beautiful.
So we kept doing that, and then people kept saying, how are you handling it? And we told them, and then pretty soon we had a group, like of just concerned parents, and
Sure.
so then we'd get together and say, well, this is what happened here, and we just kept declaring this and kept praying this and reading scripture over our situation, and then we'd see little improvements, and that gave us the faith to keep going on. And then pretty soon people kept asking us about things, and then once the people that were working with addictions are out there, not necessarily in a church setting, just out there collaborating, we were collaborating with them.
Okay.
And then pretty soon they were calling us into, being recovery coaches and, CRSWs and learning more about it, and
Speaking
speaking out, and just one thing led to another, and then we of course had the church. We started in 2012.
Okay, so was that a part of, was that before or after?
That was after, the
So-
church started after.
He had moved away, and so we
He
had
was gone for
gathered.
20 years.
I don't know how we gathered people at our house, but I had like a consignment
Because they're
shop.
an amazing couple. That's how you gather people. You just love people.
Okay.
I would like
You
listen.
literally love the hell out of people.
Yes,
I'm
this
just
is
saying.
true.
Okay,
This
okay.
is true. Well, I know
Okay.
how it was when I opened up the consignment shop at the mall area where Gates was.
Oh,
I had a consignment shop, and this is where I had known about Bill Johnson, and had discovered
Okay.
actually in the church. And his first book came out. Not the whole worship team. I was on the worship team for 26 years, and we all took that book and put it in a paper bag and passed it all around. We all read it. And we all got lit, with just faith and all sorts of cool understanding that we never had. And I'm a preacher's daughter. I was born in Bible college, so there were some things that got really shifted in my mind. So what I did was I read the book, I took it to the work, I started doing some of the stuff. They were doing, what do they call it, the treasure hunts.
Oh yeah.
So then I'd get online, because I couldn't leave the shop, and I'd put it on Facebook, treasure hunts. People would start to come into the shop and say, okay, I've got the leather jacket, I've got this. I'd pray for them and they'd get healed.
What? That's amazing.
So I thought, well, I can't go out there. So I have a shop, they're coming in, we'll do it in reverse. So I did that several times, and then pretty soon people wanted to be with us, and we had all these young people in our home.
Yeah, this was how many years ago? 20?
That was, well, we started the church in 2012, so maybe 2010, 11.
Yeah, we had a revival of sorts.
Yeah.
They were meeting in your house.
They were meeting in our
They were
house.
coming to our home.
And they're just young people, were hungry for God. And then we started the barn. You spoke at it.
That's where I met
That's
you guys,
right.
at the barn.
At the barn.
How long had it been?
It was like a couple years.
Couple years after.
The Lord told us to call it Place of His Presence, and so they called it P-Op.
P-op.
P-Op. Yep. Place of His Presence. And so we did that, and we had different speakers coming in, and we have different prophetic people, and even some of the apostolic community came to us. And, we had worship, and we had calling out words of knowledge, all this sort of thing. We had done the year before a year long of prophetic school up in Keene, New Hampshire. So that
You guys did it, or
Yeah.
you were a part of it?
we were part of it. We didn't do it.
Okay.
We joined it. And that was kind of different than where the church.
We weren't leading it.
We weren't leading
Okay.
it, but we did it for a year
Okay.
with a few people in our church.
And this was back in 20.
That would have been
10.
2009
2010.
or 10 for
Okay,
that
okay.
And then we just started hearing
2012.
about Bill Johnson and
Yes,
Bethel, and it was all, 15 years ago.
I think we
Okay.
took a trip out there too in
We
January
took a
for my
trip out
birthday.
there, and
This is
Yeah.
fascinating, and we are going to continue because I don't want to lose anything. You guys had started a church. You called it the Barn. But they had already been dealing with those that had addictions. And so you were literally doing what Jesus said to do, is go out to the least of these.
Yeah.
And you were loving them.
Yeah, and we called them treasures. We didn't call them addicts. We didn't call them,
I love that.
the moral failures of whatever they were going through. We didn't call them that.
So
we call them treasures.
anti-religious. I mean, the way you were raised, it was completely opposite.
It was completely opposite. No longer an addict. You're God's treasure. We call them treasures, and it stuck. It stuck. People were getting free. They were getting.
It's true.
They were no longer an addict. They were a treasure of God. They're struggling. We didn't try to sweep that under the rug.
Yeah.
They were struggling and they needed help, but they mostly needed love. They needed God's love.
I love that. They mostly needed love.
They
They just
did.
needed somebody to listen to them.
Yeah.
So you said in the last episode that you had invited them into your home. Were they staying with you, or were
Some did for a
Oh,
year.
some did.
Okay, so
But-
you
But they would come on Friday nights,
Yeah,
I think it
night.
was, and they would come, and then we'd all say, okay, let's just listen to what the Lord. So we were equipping them how to listen to the Lord, how to have their Bible open, go ahead and read a verse, or maybe sing a song, or maybe just open up a YouTube and share whatever it was. They were shy at first, but pretty soon.
did most of them not even have a church background?
They mostly did.
Oh, they did.
Because the religious background.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
uh,
different other churches too.
Totally
but-
different vibe, different
Okay.
mode of.
So you weren't teaching them what to think. You were teaching them how to think. So
Yes.
even
They-
critically.
yeah.
Like listening,
They-
listen to the Lord.
Most of them were
So good.
believers, I believe. Most
Yeah.
of them.
Wow.
But they were
Right.
coming out of this stronghold of religion.
That's interesting. Most of them were believers, but they had an addiction. So can Christians have addictions?
Yes.
Ooh, we're touching on something.
Oh yeah. Many times we'd talk to people that were addicted and struggling, and would say, "Do you have a relationship with Christ?" Yes. That's my only
Interesting.
hope. That's my only thing I can hold on to.
So
So
how
we didn't try save them all over again.
I love that. That's so cool. You just introduced them to the love and
Yeah.
grace of
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And their real identity is what is the problem. Was their-
So you would go after that.
Yeah, we would
Go
try
after
to
that.
teach them who they really were in Christ, and so then when they found out that, then their ears would open and they would start to hear Him and start to get like little messages. And at that time, in 2012, Bethel was really going, and we would always listen. Of course, I'd always be listening and everything, and we'd both be listening to Bill Johnson's sermons and reading the books, and just, like I said, getting lit in the Holy Spirit, just beyond what I had even grown up with. And I grew up in an Assembly of God, Spirit-filled church.
Wow.
I was
So I
born
didn't
at Bible
realize
College.
that.
Yes.
I didn't realize it was Assemblies of God.
My
She did,
parents
yeah.
were, and he
Because
was
they're
born of
against
a song.
divorce too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
They
had
can-
all
it
that,
can be
too.
religious.
Wow.
And so we were trying to just help these people understand that they can hear from God, that you can, right where you're at, just shame off you, to just come as you are. That's where all those t-shirt things came from, was that the Lord kept giving. And then we kept saying, okay, does anyone need any healing? And then we'd go into that a little bit at a time. Pretty soon we'd end up on a Friday night with 60 people in our living room.
Mm-hmm.
And this is before you started the church.
That's
is
before.
before.
And they all kept saying, we need to start a church, we need to start a church.
And you guys
And we're
didn't
going,
want to.
we
didn't
don't really know.
want it to.
We kind of felt like we should, and there was a barn on our land. Wasn't our land, but our nephew's
nephew had a
land.
barn, and he
And
wanted
he got the confirmation.
he
and
wanted it to be a church, so we fitted up, poured concrete, insulated it, and then we started meeting there. For a year we met there.
and people were just providing. I
Yeah.
mean, the offering was like off the charts.
Yeah,
We didn't even
people-
ask for it.
Yeah.
People are just throwing, do you
Yeah,
have a
because-
bowl? We're going to put money in the
That's
bowl.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hit on that for just a second. So, like today, televangelists or different ones that are online. They're always asking for money and buy this and buy that and God will bless you and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But here you are in a place where it's mostly recovering addicts, I'm assuming.
At that time, not mostly. No.
Well, there were
some.
There were
There were
a lot
some,
in there,
okay.
but
Yeah,
it's
some
just
struggling.
But there wasn't a whole lot of flowing money, like
No.
people that had
No.
Right.
driving up
No.
in Cadillacs and whatever
No.
coming to your facility. So
No, it was young people and
mostly young people.
mostly
Yeah.
because you're like
Yeah.
you just talking with you this short amount of time, I can see where young people would be drawn to you. You're a real mama and papa.
Yeah.
So would you say at that time then, as it was getting started, and you didn't even ask for money, people were asking to give you
Right.
money?
Right.
For the barn, it's
For
just
the
like
barn,
we need to do
right.
this, and we got all the horse stalls mucked out and cleaned and redone everything. And of course, he's a contractor, so it was pretty easy. Our nephew helped, and we did everything. And pretty soon we had
A nice
barn.
place. Nice place.
Yeah, and then we had to
Did you
equip
advertise?
it.
How did you get
No,
people?
just
coming?
word of mouth. Just people were
Just
coming.
word of mouth. And then at this time we had met. I had saw Sozos online. I
Okay.
kind of got into that. We had
Okay.
been in the Inner Healing Prayer Ministry under Wholeness Through Christ,
Okay.
which was part of what Sozo was created out of, and many other just different approaches.
Yeah.
But so we knew this approach, but we wanted to find out about the Sozo, and I thought, Lord, where is there a Sozo near me? Where is it? And so I looked online, and here it was in Pepperell, Massachusetts, at Faith Worship. So we come on down here as fast as we can and find the pastor, and and of course things were really hopping then, and we'd bring all those kids on a Saturday or whenever they had conferences, and people were hopping and dancing, and the place was wild here with kids, and the kids loved coming here. I say
Wow.
kids, but they're really like young people.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
loved coming here. They were getting healed. They were getting Sozos.
Jesus.
And then we just asked Daryl, would you help us figure this all out?
Beautiful.
And that's when he helped us. And before long, they licensed us. And then
He ordained it. Yeah,
for
Daryl ordained it.
Okay, so you are ordained ministers.
Yeah, we are.
Under Faith Worship
Under
Center.
Faith Worship Center.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
And
that's
a graduate
awesome.
I'm a graduate of Bethel and Faith Worship Center.
Oh, you went to the Faith
School.
Worship Center
Supernatural
school.
medicine.
You,
Yeah. She
you,
did, I
You
did.
didn't. Now, why didn't you?
Because
you were too good for
He was
that.
working.
Totally
I'm
kidding.
pretty mature in the Lord. And I
You
do
don't
know-
need that school.
I don't need that school. So.
I tell people that I'm always the visionary in the family, but he
That's
fathers all the
hilarious.
visions.
Oh, that's good.
He does.
That's really
It's
good.
just like I get these ideas, I throw it through him, and then we just flow together into
Then
the
a year later,
mothering,
I
fathering.
come along.
Sometimes it's like that, but yeah.
But you work together well as a team, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you have this church, you met now Daryl, he's
Yeah.
ordained you, you've gone to the school. You went to BSSM as well?
I did the Global Legacy online,
Global Legacy,
which was
yes.
the first part of it.
Yeah.
And so when I came here to do first year, they said, nope, she should not be in first year. She should be in second year.
Nice.
So Daryl said, no, you're in second year. So
Nice.
they counted that as the first year.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And you went 2 years or one?
I went 1
two-
year online, Global Legacy,
But here?
But
and
here.
then 1 year here,
Oh, okay.
and graduated here.
And graduated
Yeah.
here. And then you became ordained. And
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
were
so-
already ordained at this point because we had the church.
Okay.
Around 2013, they ordained us because we were at the mall at that time. Yeah, I think around that
I
time.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love it that your kids would enjoy coming here
Yeah.
and just freely worshiping, because that's one of the things
Yeah.
that Faith Worship Center is so known for, is their worship.
Right, right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so
Yeah,
the
they got
beauty,
a taste of it.
yeah, and so they obviously loved that.
Yeah.
And they came to the barn.
And then
yeah,
And then we had some
Jeremy
Bethel people
yeah,
come to the.
and you being one of them.
you were
Yeah.
one of them.
And
Yeah.
We had the
some
barn.
other. She was at the
Yeah,
barn
I was.
with her guitar.
And then we had a couple other Bethel young.
Yeah, I can't
forget.
remember their name now.
Can't remember. But
Yeah,
they were
we-
younger.
Eddie Tate. He came.
We had multiple missions trips that would come to the New England states, mainly with
Yes.
Faith Worship Center.
Yes.
And so they probably came and
Yes.
they did.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
happened. They come here and then they do a
And then
little
Daryl
side
would
trip.
say, let's
Yep,
go over
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I
you
love
know.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that community feel,
Yeah.
which needs to happen more with churches, specifically in, well, anywhere. Let's just say anywhere.
Yeah.
Instead of it being, hoarding people,
Right.
let's actually cross-pollinate
Yes.
because
Oh, yeah.
that's beautiful.
We love
They
doing that.
did the worship team,
Yeah.
Jeremy and
Yeah. Christy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
That's okay. At
Yeah.
least you remembered it.
No.
Either one of us.
No.
If
remember
I
it.
forget it, there's a
No,
problem.
you said that she said. Forget. Serena.
Serena.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Serena
Good,
was
good
Sorry,
job. Good
sorry,
job.
Serena. It's my
Serena
mind.
was always
She
faithful
was
to come back.
leading worship for us, and
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
and Dan, and they'd come up,
Mm-hmm.
they'd lead worship with us, and so for a couple of years they
Yeah.
helped us get off the ground. And,
Yeah. And Faith Worship
And
Center gave
Daryl.
us our big board, our
it's
mixing
a
board.
soundboard. Daryl would come up and speak,
Daryl and Lynn.
so
Yeah.
they got us going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so they weren't afraid to cross-pollinate, like you said. It
Yeah,
was awesome.
yeah, that's incredible. They have an incredible story, an incredible history, and they're all not always at the church. So because they do a lot of traveling, and then there's a lot of family in this area that they attend multiple different churches, but they consider Faith Worship Center their home because they feel so connected. And Daryl and Lynn helped them get established and start their ministry as well. So they feel a part of they are a part of the family, but we don't always get to see them. And so I'm just capitalizing on this moment here for everyone to know this incredible couple, and how the young people were drawn to you early on, because they have such a heart. They have golden hearts. It doesn't surprise me that your church took off the way that it did. So now you're in the recovery center. Miracles or signs and wonders were happening. Feathers were happening. Healings were happening.
Healings
The
were
Holy
happening.
Spirit was showing up in a powerful way.
Yep.
And now this would have been around 20...
13 was when we moved to the mall. And
Okay.
so we had the church, and we had that till 2018. So we had recovery groups, and then we decided we had one big recovery group, and then we decided when the women started coming that we needed a women's recovery group.
Wow.
So because then there was one person, and the Lord would give me stuff, and I'd write my first curriculum for like 6 months, and then he'd give me more stuff. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but the Holy Spirit was leading us, and then he would take the guys and I would take the girls. Pretty soon we have all girls, all guys. They had their space, we had our space. Oftentimes there would be husbands and wives. You didn't want to put them together in the same group because then they didn't really feel comfortable. So we did it that way, and we had curriculum. We used a lot of Bethel books because they were on identity. And we soon found out that addiction isn't really about addiction. It's about identity and just loss of identity. And we wanted to just speak to them and tell them how they were fearfully and wonderfully made, and that God loved them, and that what they did, like Charlie said, was not going to be a stamp on their life, like, the scarlet letter, but it was going to be, that was their experience to bring them to who they really were. And so that's what we started doing. We started calling it freedom. What did we call it? We changed it so much.
Freedom Fellowship.
Yeah, Freedom Fellowship.
Gates of Freedom.
Yeah, then we said Gates of Freedom, Freedom Supernatural Ministry, so Addiction Recovery Ministry. We had all sorts of different things. So we were just listening to the Lord.
Maybe that was our problem.
We were just listening to the Lord and just trying to, see where he would have us go. And pretty soon, by the time it was 2018, we realized that the Lord was making a change. But we were like, he said, pick the church or pick the recovery center, but you're not going to do both. And we heard it clear. We even rode up to the White Mountains. We have some pastor friends up that way. they even said prophetically the same thing to us.
The Annans.
Yeah, the Annans.
Okay.
And we had said, that's what the Lord said to us, but like, what did we do wrong that when I started thinking,
Sure.
did we do something wrong that we're not going to do the church? Is he making us choose? But by faith, we thought, okay, well, he must have a reason. So we closed the church as the church, and it was a new season for now the Recovery Center to just, flourish. And we became a 501c. We applied. The Lord started sending money from different churches because we were supporting different churches. That's why we travel around to the different churches, because of monthly support.
As soon as we stopped being a church, the support started coming.
Oh my gosh.
Churches started giving.
Yes.
But when we were a church and the support group.
What? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
As soon
It
as,
was interesting.
As soon as we stopped being a church,
So
the
you weren't
churches,
competing
we
with
weren't
them.
competing, but they thought,
But it's
they
probably
felt
odd,
free. They
to-
felt free to give. Now that we weren't a church, we were just,
Interesting.
and they'd send people to us.
Really?
Yeah, they said money. I mean, yeah,
Take care of these
Yeah.
people.
take care of these people.
Yeah.
And you gladly took them
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
That's so much like Jesus in the flesh. He didn't say go or come into
Yeah.
all the world. He said go, and so
Yeah.
you guys did.
We
You
did.
went and
We
you
went.
started this recovery center.
Yeah.
And then we actually went to the
Wow.
streets and we'd fill backpacks and bring goods and little toiletries and go to Manchester and Nashua and we got these people that were coming out of addiction to help us do this. Or people that didn't even have addiction. They wanted to just minister.
Yeah, a lot of
They
people.
wanted
We
to give
needed,
them words of knowledge and prophesy over them.
we needed healthy people
Heal them.
Yes.
and to work with us, not just
Just
the
the
people in recovery. We needed,
help.
and we told them, yeah,
Mhm.
we need you. We
Yeah.
need you just as bad as.
Well, I know you guys had me come last year, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
To the recovery
Yeah.
center, and I just thought this is amazing. I think you met on a Tuesday night.
Yep, we met
Yeah.
Tuesday nights.
And
yeah.
I was like, wow, this is really cool. And there was, I don't know that night how many there were. You weren't sure how many would even show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But there was probably 20,
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's actually really cool
It is.
that
It
you
is.
guys opened it up. And in fact, I think there was a young lady there that had a meltdown in the middle of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you were so gracious to just be with
Minister
her
with
and
her.
It was
minister.
beautiful.
And
It was-
that's the way it rolls.
Well, there were a
Yeah.
couple of other people that were actually, I went out afterwards because I thought she left, but she
Yeah.
had just gone and sat down.
Yeah.
It's what you guys were creating, that safe enough place for her to even have a breakdown
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
in the middle of a service.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that in a church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
should you? You know what I mean? So,
Well, yeah,
but
right.
she was looking for something, and there were some ladies that actually went out. Now I don't know if they were who they were.
Yeah.
Do you remember who the people were? Were they?
I don't remember who they were.
Okay, there were
Yeah.
two of them, and
Yeah.
they were just loving on her. And
Yeah.
she's out there smoking a cigarette, and she's like, I just don't, and they were just literally loving the hell out of her.
Yeah, they were.
And that's
were.
what I think you guys I'm fascinated by that. It was a beautiful, beautiful example of
yeah.
who you guys are.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, I was a little bit surprised when I came back, because I know you guys go to Florida and come back. I go to Colorado Springs
Yes.
and come back
Mhm.
for Florida for a little while,
Yeah.
but now it's Colorado Springs and I come back, and then so we reconnect, and you tell me that you're closing the recovery center. Tell me about that up until now and where your heart is.
Well, I think I think Charlie maybe saw it coming earlier than I did, but being the mama,
Yeah.
it's like a baby, and I realized that, and so the attendance started going down, so I knew something was up. It's like, okay, Lord, it isn't because of money.
Some people were getting free. Some people.
A lot
were,
of people. Well, we
they were
kept
still.
praying.
They were
Let's
still.
close the
They were
center.
doing. They were doing well. They
don't need it anymore.
They don't need it, even though a lot
That's
of them
true.
came, but they started. Are you doing okay? Yeah, we're doing great.
Yeah.
Some people were
So,
free. And,
maybe it was just a change,
time.
a time of season. So I know there are times and seasons with the Lord. So we thought, okay, Lord, usually the Lord will give me a new vision between every 4 to 6 years.
Oh,
And at
okay.
first I thought, oh boy, are you ADD?
You're telling God that.
I'm saying that.
Are you
But I
ADD?
didn't think of
That's
myself like that, but the Lord Lord would always equip me with these visions in the night and all sorts, and this is the way I receive, you know, and then I go to him and, you know, and then we try to figure it out together, and then he's always providing the backup, you know. And so I just figured that there's something up, and I was telling him about it, and he's saying, yeah, maybe it's time to close the center. And I said, okay, but I don't want to do anything unless I hear the Lord. So he was kind enough to just wait for a couple years till I figured it out that I could hear. So what I did was I just felt it in my spirit when I came back from Florida. I thought, okay, I think that maybe we're supposed to close the center, but still support the churches and still do the ministry, but not have the whole, you know, 501(c) to run, because I was the executive director. It was a lot to run it
and pay for the rental.
Yeah, and not that the Lord wasn't providing, though.
He provided.
So that wasn't a reason to close. It was the real reason was God told us to close. Like, it's time to do this next step. And then God is so sweet, and he knows that I love to organize things and run with it. So he doesn't always give me the full details. Otherwise I would organize it, right?
That's beautiful, yes.
So I just said, okay, Lord, I'm just gonna start. And he was all for it. He was happy about it. And I said, okay, so then as executive director, I'm thinking, oh no, how do we handle the donation, the donor list, and the bank accounts, and the 990 forms, and the Secretary of State, and the DOJ, and all the stuff that it takes to run an organization, a nonprofit. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I've got lawyers on my board, I've got accountants, you know, I have people that could help. Yeah. And so we went to Florida for 4.5 months, and we prayed about it. And my coach, one of my coaches, recovery coaches, you know, I had told her about the idea before we left for Florida. And she says, yes, I can confirm that. I go, really? How? She goes, the Lord told me about this 6 months ago, but he told me not to tell you until you told me. Bless you, Chelsea.
That's
so
awesome.
That was great. And then I had tuned in to somebody online, and they were prophesying over me, called me by name and prophesied over me. And it was just what we were talking about, about closing the center and moving to the new thing.
And can you share with us?
Well, I think the new thing is what, as far as we got right now, because it's new still for us, is that we're supporting churches with people who need help around addiction and recovery and marriage and court and jail and all that sort of stuff that we normally do. But we're not going to have a meeting place, a center to have meetings. And I've really felt like, because I've done a lot of training through the American Association of Christian Counselors, and I really felt like the Lord was saying, it's time for the people to go back into the church when they have a need.
Wow.
And the president of the AACC said the same thing.
Wow.
And so I started taking, you know, narcissistic and emotional abuse, mental health coaching and counseling. I started doing all those classes to just kind of give me what I'd already seen, but the backup and the information. And not that I always use that, because I always counsel and coach with the Holy Spirit, but it's good information to know.
Because you're a licensed clinical social worker.
Well, I'm not. No, I am a certified recovery support worker, which is like a recovery coach. That's where my license is.
Okay.
And I do have my degree in psychology and Christian counseling, but I don't have a license for that. So I coach people.
You're connected. I think you're connected with somebody in politics. Are you not?
Oh, yes. The governor appointed me to his commission.
Can you say that?
Yes.
Okay, so a governor of what?
Governor Sununu, which is no longer, he's not in
New
office
Hampshire.
for New Hampshire.
Okay.
They had called Charlie and I in Manchester. All the churches had gotten together because the drug czar on his board went to the churches and asked, what are you doing for the addiction in Manchester? Because it was so bad. And they didn't know how to answer for the churches. So they called me and Charlie. Well, Kathie and Charlie are doing something way down in New Ipswich. Let's get them in here. So we did. We went to a couple meetings, and then I went to another meeting, and then pretty soon I'm part of this new group called the Good Samaritan Network, and I'm forming a board and doing all. I thought, is this what I'm supposed to do? But it was helpful, and then I would speak to the churches around addiction and recovery because I could speak from my experience with our son.
So if anybody's watching this and they want to reach out to you to have you come to their church, how are you online somewhere? How would people get a hold of you?
Well, we don't have a website anymore because we closed everything on Gates, but my Facebook page is Kathie Malera Sari.
Can you spell that?
Malera is Malara and Sari is SAA.
And Kathie is
R.I..
Kathie.
And Kathie is Kathie.
Okay, so so Kathie Malari Sari.
Malara.
Sari.
Yeah, Sari, yeah. Or Charlie Sari. Charles.
That might be easier. Just go with Charles.
Charles.
No, go.
Sorry, Charlie. You can remember
Well
that
played.
way.
Yes, that was good.
Contact her.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because usually when we speak, we try to either speak to boards, like we've spoken here to some of the boards here around mental health coaching, just equipping the church so that when people come in needing the help, they don't go, oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Or we can give them resources because we've been there, we've done that, we're still learning.
Yeah.
And we could better help them that way.
Yeah.
And I know Daryl has offered Charlie and I, if we ever need a room in the church to come, that we have a place. And other churches have done the same. So we have quite a few churches that are out there because we've worked with their people and they're saying, we'll help. And I said, okay, we don't need to take any money. We never were short of money. We always had money. But I would say if the person needs money, I would say this to the churches, then we'll vet them and hear the Holy Spirit and then send them your way. But the people need to go back into a church because that's where sustainable recovery for anything is.
Based on that statement, do you think the church is ready for them? I know you go to them and train their leaders.
Not quite.
Okay,
not
tell
quite.
me why not.
I just think that it's just something that, in the last, 20 years has happened so exponentially that people don't know. We didn't know, we're ministering at a church for 26 years and had no clue about addiction. Or we never even smoked a cigarette. We just were like way behind the 8 ball. Well, when you're 12. Really?
We're just finding this out right now, aren't we, Kathie?
Little butts on the road and stuff.
there you
12 years old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so
But
confession time's over.
We can edit that out.
Yeah,
Or
we'll
no,
edit,
we
we'll edit it.
No, we won't.
But anyway, we just didn't have a clue. But one thing we did know how to do, and the church is great at this, is pray for people. But you know what? We soon found out by Andrew Womack, and we did quite a bit of studying with him, was that we are a spirit, a soul, and a body. And so we have learned over the many years to minister to all 3 parts and not just pray. Because that's what we want to do as Christians. We just want to pray it away.
But sometimes they need help. They need milk. They need bread. They need sustenance. They need something physical.
They need a 30-day recovery.
It's not necessarily a spiritual answer. It's just a
Practical.
practical, physical. We brought groceries to people just because that's what they needed. And so, it's a 3-part. We're made up of 3 parts. And the churches that we've dealt with, I'll think it's a spiritual matter, but sometimes it's
You
just
didn't
practical.
read your Bible enough.
You didn't do this, you didn't do that, but sometimes they need a 30-day program, even though it's not a faith-based program. We've sent people just to get clean and dry, to dry out or whatever. Because they, even people said that's not a Christian place, but
Neither are hospitals.
it's someplace they needed a respite, they needed a break,
Come on.
and then when they come out, then we can feed them.
So then we have to get the church ready for the people to come in.
Yeah.
I think
Because
that's where
it's
we're
not
at.
just addictions as far as drugs and alcohol, but what about the
Everything.
ones that are transvestites that
Yeah,
want to come in because
it's-
their identity
Yeah.
has been compromised?
Yes,
Right.
it's the same.
And just and
Same
the people
issue.
that are identifying as different things.
Right.
You know, they're called Therians. I just did a whole thing on
A
that.
what?
Therians.
What's
They're
a Therian?
identifying as an animal, as a cat or a dog, or what are we going to do with that?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and the people, these
Yeah.
are people that are hurting.
Yeah.
That this last generation is, you know, were abusive, and you know they were using drugs, and so the children are reaping that, you know. And we really want to just make sure that the church is ready in some form. And I'm not sure how the Lord is going to let us do that, but we want to get them ready to know that, okay, they have a drug problem or they have abuse problem. We can go to court with them. We can advocate for them.
So you would actually go to court with these
Mhm.
people?
Yeah,
Wow.
we're still doing it. I have
I'd
a
say
couple
she
now.
did. She did. I don't know. if
Most
I-
of,
Oh,
yeah,
I've
you
been,
have
I've been,
gone.
I've been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have
That's
gone.
really powerful.
Yeah, and we've
Just
watched.
an advocate, just being an advocate
Yeah.
for them, and the judge would look at you and just appreciate
Right.
the fact that you know
Sure.
we're walking with them and standing with them, and
So just in this brief little 3 episodes that we've had with you guys, I'm just understanding more and more that you're just a power couple that love Jesus. You're
Yeah,
Jesus in the
basically.
flesh.
Mhm.
And that's really what this generation up and coming need and want
Yeah.
from mamas and papas that
Right.
genuinely care, and they're not like a statistic. Oh, well, I'm going to go out and get you saved.
you're
It's
right.
more about, no,
Right.
I want to actually love you the way
Right.
Jesus loves me,
Mhm.
and you're doing what the command is. And so I just honor you both in that, and
Thanks.
just thank you so much for sharing your journey. And this was very brief, but there's so much more, and I really want them to be able, the churches, if there are going to be any churches,
Yeah.
to hear about what Kathie and Charlie do, to reach out. I want to encourage again, go back, and maybe we can have somebody put in the link to get a hold of you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
As a church, to maybe reach out, to have you come and just prepare their leaders. Now I know you also are a contractor, is that correct?
I am a contractor. I'm collecting retirement in 1 month. Well,
It's awesome, let me tell you.
my full retirement, so that'll be interesting. And so I'm in a new phase of
New
life,
season.
just slowing down a little bit and taking the winter off in Florida now, and
Nice.
but I'll have some income coming in from
Yeah.
retirement.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is.
So it'll be a little.
Because
new
you
phase.
guys got e-bikes.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I know that because we went on a ride.
ride.
It's
Yeah.
so fun.
It
And you also have a talent that was just, is it now on YouTube or?
I don't know. I haven't put it on YouTube, but it was a winter project I did in Florida with my cousin who has his own recording studio. And so we took 4.5 months to record a song that I had written.
You had written?
last year.
The name
yeah.
of that song
It's
is?
called Soar from Isaiah 40:31.
It's an awesome song. She sent me a copy of it. So eventually when that gets released, we need to let people know how to, because it'll bless them.
Yeah. I have a copy. If anybody wants a copy, I can send it to you. I'm not quite sure how to get it on, release it on YouTube. But I'll
Maybe
figure
somebody
it out.
watching this will help Kathie get it
Yes.
out on a more public, because it's an awesome song.
Yeah.
And I just love it, and it's a good worship song.
Yeah, and I feel like the Lord wants me to, because I've been a worship leader for a long time, most all of my life, and served in that capacity. And so I feel like the Lord wants me to just return back to my, simple state of being a worshiper.
Beautiful.
And, because that's where you really hear.
Yeah.
You get the clarity that you need,
Yeah.
So.
So I want to thank you for joining us again for this episode. I wanted to break it up into 3 because I felt like I didn't know if I was going to have opportunity. They're a very busy couple. To see them again and to sit down and have this, and I would love to do it again in the future if we could figure it out. But I'm going to be leaving myself, so
Yes.
it's just the coordination of it and the way that God orchestrated this, that it's literally, this couple is indicative of the mamas and the papas that are in the church. And I love that they love so well. They love people to wholeness. And that's what you're going to find here at Faith Worship Center when you come, is that there's going to be different age demographics that come, and there are the young ones that are coming back. I'm seeing revival happen all throughout the United States, and the young people are hungry. And so the older generation, one of my interviews, she's going to kill me when I say it again because she hated that she said it, the Q-tips. They call us the Q-tips.
The Q-tips.
I love it just because, listen, in the Bible,
The young people don't use Q-tips?
no,
or
but we have them on our heads because
Oh.
we're gray-haired or
Oh.
white-haired.
Oh,
see.
Q-tip.
The
Okay.
Q-tips,
The gray heads.
yes, which I love that because, and it was a term of endearment that
Okay.
she
Cute.
said.
That's cute.
But there is so much wisdom, and not only the wisdom, but the heart. And that's what I love. The young people are looking for truth.
They are.
And you guys are examples of that because you've proven that through your marriage, first of all, and then through the process of starting a church and then letting it go, and then starting a recovery center and then letting it go. The hardest thing to do for our generation is to start something and then see it flourish, and then the Lord say let it go, because
Yes,
it's
so true.
like you're stepping into retirement. It's scary, and it's literally these golden moments that the young people are looking for truth because they want to at least get to our age.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they don't know what's going to happen
Yeah.
in the world around them.
True.
And so they turn to addictions or they turn to other things other than God.
Yeah.
But when you have the resources and that you're loved, then you
Yeah.
can come into an environment such as what Daryl and Lynn have
Yes.
fostered and raised here in
Yes.
36 years of being a church. It may start to look a little different than what we think even revival looks like.
Yeah.
But revival starts in us, in an individual,
Amen.
and then couples, and then our homes and our families, and the churches are
Yeah.
about to see an explosion. So thank you
Amen.
guys for being
Thank you.
mamas and papas that care and that will draw people in and go into all the world and not only preach it but live it.
Yeah.
And this is an incredible couple. So hopefully you'll get a hold of Kathie if you need that, and have her come to your church. Both Charlie and Kathie would come, I'm sure. But yeah, let's be prepared for this last gathering, maybe last, who knows,
Yeah.
of the people of revival here in the United States and around the world. Thank you for joining us at Hidden Gems, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
It's
us.
been an awesome interview. So
Oh,
thank you.
thank you, Sheri.
Have a great day.